Kia ora friends, tēnei te mihi nui kia koutou, which is a big greeting to you all. I'm Carmelle Riley from Manifestors Unite in Aotearoa, New Zealand. In this around 15-minute YouTube video, I am going deep into the powers of intuition and how you use your feelings in terms of your relationship with your business with a wonderful channel and coach, Fiona Robertson. Welcome, hello, with light everyone, happiness and gratitude to be here.
I'm in France. I am originally from the UK, United Kingdom, but I was guided by my spirit guides to travel the world, and I ended up in France. And I was guided to come and land in the south of France, and It was from a creation of I did from 2 years previously, went traveling, and I found the exact house that matched every single specification. And when I walked into the house, it was like, welcome. I could feel it. I just knew it was exactly where I was supposed to be.
Our listeners who don't know Fiona, she's a channel, she's a conscious business mentor. She is setting the stage for a movement of visionary leaders here with a bigger purpose to reach their fullest potential and leave a lasting change and legacy. And she helps people to tap in and listen to what your business wants to tell you, to have a direct and clear path to your unapologetic success. Well, that's a pretty amazing role. When we were having a little discussion, we had two themes came through in this sort of prelim discussion. One of them was power and the other one was feels. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you weave both power and feels into your business mentoring and teaching and coaching?
Oh, wow. When I'm working with the business and I read the spirit of your business, I feel into what it feels like to be you within your business. And I'm asking the business, what do you want to say to the owner of the business? Because the business is an inspiration, it was given to you. And you're here normally for a bigger purpose. These are my specific clients. So we feel into that, and then we ask questions to the business. We ask questions to your specific clients, and we feel into them. And this just brings you so much power, because you are, first of all, you have to be connected in with yourself. You have to really know yourself. You become phenomenally strong on the inside. So that nobody's criticism, nobody's agenda, nobody's bad behavior or situations, drama, that they don't affect you. So you're standing in your power. And this is the message that the dragons were giving to me ages ago, saying, humans have lost their power. They're overthinking everything and they're not feeling anything. And we can't get through because the brain is so overworked. It's like there's like a brick wall, and it's very difficult when you're so busy doing to give you the guidance that's available for you. So their main message is to break the spell of the overthinking and trying to work so hard, and allow yourself to claim your power. Now, for a long time I didn't really know what that was, because when I got the messages I was just, what does that mean? What does that mean? And then it was all beginning to fall into place, and I could feel that it was working, it was clunking into place. But it's basically that you feel and you look through the eyes of your soul, and you're looking at it from a very conscious perspective.
And so when you're talking about the dragon energy, because so in terms of working with someone's business, you channel essentially this dragon message, and you just bring that through, and it takes the shape of dragons. But if you were to explain that in terms of an energetic expression, how would you explain it to people who are like, what have dragons got to do with my business?
Dragons for me, they are they're a guide. Like some people would say angels, or some people would say something else. For me, they're just a source. They're a voice in my head. They are allowing me to feel into something, and they've taught me so much. So they are my spirit guides.
Right.
And they seem to be coming in force over the last few years. And when people meet me, they kind of go, I just don't get it, dragons. And all of a sudden, they kind of shift, and they start getting dragons coming in. And when the dragons first came through to me, it was just an eye looking into my world. And then when I was ready, I met them. They came through, and I was like, well, there's one, and there's another one, and there's another one. And they just started speaking to me and giving these messages about how we operate, how to operate as a human, but from the soul's perspective. So, because as a human, we get so lost because we want to evolve, but then the human wants to keep us the same. And, well, we're not familiar with that. So what's going to happen?
It's really interesting you say that, because, you know, like my son is a golden dragon. He was born in 2000. And then both of my husband's parents, my in-laws, they are both golden dragons together. And, you know, like, you know, they're born in the Chinese year of the golden dragon. And so, but when you see them, like when you're actually around them, she says, and she's holding up her own, you know, flying, they just have this kind of like, it's this natural attraction power. And so for understanding, you know, like thinking about that dragon energy and then knowing people who are, and there's other dragons as well in, you know, in my world, but it helps you to understand it's just this kind of natural charisma and natural authority and natural, they don't even have to really articulate it in terms of, they just are, right? They just have this, there's this essence of them that is fundamentally strong.
This energy is very direct. Yeah. It is very cheeky, it can be, or it can be very wise. The dragons that I've met and I work with a lot, you know, they have you very, very focused, or they have you, well, what's the bigger picture? What would be better than that? And they're prompting you and helping you to go beyond what you think you feel and what you think you know, and they give you the power to kind of go, oh, I wonder what else could be possible. I wonder what else could be possible that's better than this. And then there's one particular dragon, I was mentioning her earlier to you. If you think about Lady Gaga or Pink or David Bowie, they're like rebels, you know, and so she's a rebel, and she's bright pink, and she sort of came through to me from this amazing camellia bush that was massive but unclipped, unpruned. She'd never ever been tamed, so she's wild. So when you tap into that particular energy, you can use her as a filter. So if somebody's very in a drama and you're feeling it, or you go to a supermarket or you go down the road and you can feel all this energy, she comes in like a filter and she says, you know, like, you've got this, you know, all you need to do is hold strong in your own energy and your own field of what you feel. You know, happy thoughts, keep positive, focus on what's good, and it just dissipates all the stuff that's not meant to come near you. But because so many of us are empathic and, you know, conscious, it's like, oh my god, there's just, you know, too much for me. So, you know, this is a great way of going out there, being in your own, call it your aura if you want, but you go out there with a filter and you just kind of go, when I feel really strong, when I feel really in my power, I'm untouchable. And this is the energy that she brings through, and her name is Bloom, and she's bright pink, and she's wild, and she's so gentle, and she just wants you to know, I've got your back.
Which is a really lovely analogy of, you know, just giving symbolism to that metaphysical expression. So I got a question for you. So when you're channeling the dragons in businesses, like, do they bring a message, or sometimes you come across businesses that themselves are, you know, does a business have a dragon energy? Could you describe a business as embodied, or is it more that they come through and tell you messages that help your clients and their business?
Not everyone that I work with has or sees dragons, but eventually they want to.
I love that guy.
They're like, I want a dragon too, because they're like so freaky and they're so amazing. So when I'm channeling and I'm reading into someone's business, I will see and feel through their eyes, and, you know, I don't necessarily have to see them as a dragon, but I just know that that's the way that they communicate with me, so I can feel what's going on, I can understand, I trust it implicitly, as you would trust a dragon implicitly, and I can just, depending on the questions I ask, so a bit like AI, the quality of the answers that come back are dependent on the quality of the questions. And sometimes I'll ask a question and I'll get nothing, and I'm like, right, okay, so I'm asking the wrong question. They're like, well, it's not the wrong question, but you're just not asking it with the right intent. Or I'm like, oh, okay. So it's like this communication that goes on, but they're always there to move you forwards. They are here specifically as these divine beings that are more characterful than an angel. An angel's like, oh my God, I just feel so blissful and everything's rounded out. A dragon is like, she has, or he has, I mean, they don't have he or she. They are just so on point that they just keep wanting to move you forward. And they're like, can't you see it yet? Can't you see it yet, what we're showing you? They have a mission to help all the visionary leaders, all the people who are here as change makers, risk takers, to step up and be counted. And I know how hard that feels to own your power, to go ahead and talk about dragons, to talk about galactic beings, to talk about businesses that are being guided by spirit.
Love that. I was at a workshop last year. It is last year, I forget. So much has happened in the year of the dragon. It was last year.
Yes.
The dragon that keeps booting. That's how I described it. It was a, powerful year, and some of it was uncomfortable. But we did this meditation with this woman, and she actually got everyone in meditation to meet their inner dragon. And do you do that? Do you facilitate that with other people, or do you facilitate them being able to see into that? And again, I have got a meditation that does that. But usually within our conversations, they say some really straightforward things like, that's such a human issue, or you're overthinking it. The main thing that comes in, like, you're overthinking it. And sometimes they're really, I don't mean to be, they're not brutal, but they're just very direct. Think of a parent who's just no messing around. They are your cosmic parents. They want you to feel and remember what you came here to do and be. And they're a little bit no nonsense. They're a little bit zero tolerance for victim. But we all fall into it in different aspects of our life. We just feel, well, I don't know if I can do that. And they're just like, that is such a human thing to think. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're so right. Well, and then they use fire to burn down the veil and make you remember. And so in terms of that, just can you talk about some of the your clients and how they can you like lead us through someone who's gone from working with you, being really curious about how to tap into their business energy and make it more successful, and then you've brought through this messaging from the dragon and transformation, because we all get inspired by people who've like really been moved in this way.
There is so many different instances from artists who have dragons eventually coming through their art. They're spiritual artists. They didn't even know they were spiritual artists. And these dragons sort of like coming through, and then it just goes, keep on painting, or dragons come to them in the woods and they tell them certain things, and then my clients become a channel, and they're like, I'm not a channel. I said, well, nor was I. It was them who kind of said, Fiona, offer all your readings to this group. This was like 5 years ago, and I'm like, I'm no mystic Meg. I don't do the healy-feely things. I'm very logical.
So I got to ask you, what were you doing when you got this message from these your inner dragon came in, and the rest of them, the dragon pack came in? What were you actually doing?
Detoxing. Which actually, if you think about it, the dragons are also helping that. They're helping to detox the mental debris. But I was doing the physical debris, and I understood then that helped open up the pineal gland, that helped open up my heart, that helped open up so many other things. I ran retreats for people here in France, and it was never about the weight or the physical aspects. It was always about the thoughts and the stories that they were going, and I can just see this all coming through in all the messages that they've given me, because you create what you feel, you create what you're saying, what you'll keep repeating. And that's where the power is. One of the main messages that came through from the dragons was, you don't know how powerful you are.
No, I love that.
None of us know. And I'm only just learning, and they keep saying to me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm like, holy wow.
What's your best way? How can people best connect with you?
I've got my Facebook group, which is Practical Magic, my website, and I've got products and things on my website as well. It's all about creating your own reality, going into the fields of everything, coming back to the power of you, and also through this 5-day challenge. If I haven't given you the link, I will give you the link. But as a human, we're playing too small, so broaden your bandwidth, be prepared to play and not be quite so serious. This is the message from Bloom. And she's coming through now. She's like, just be prepared to play. Get all your playfulness out and play like a child would. Like, it's okay to feel this and feel that. And that just expands the whole, and it's not so serious. It doesn't have to be so serious and sensible.
I love
more
it.
colour, more playfulness.
Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Fiona, for joining us, and I look forward to more interviews with you and the dragons. Mighty order.